Welcome to Connect Live. I'm Dawn Peters, and today I'm very thrilled and excited to have with us Shirley Luu of Shirley Luu Finance. Welcome, Shirley.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I'm so excited to hear about your story and your business today, and what you can do for people to do with controlling their and looking after their wealth strategies.
I'm very excited as well too, and again, thank you for having me on the show. I've heard so much about you, and I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much. So maybe just tell us all a little bit about Shirley Luu Finance and what you do for people.
Okay. Well, Shirley Luu Finance is designed that I want to specialize working with businesses and individuals, bringing the next generation of retirement products that people are not talking about. You know, things where you can't lose money, protection, and still have an ability to grow the money while they do an investment for the retirement or for the kids' college education. So that's what we want to do. We want to be different from the rest.
Well, that's one thing that's always struck me about you. Every time we have a conversation, you always know about something different that people don't know about. And it's almost has a wow factor. And so I know we're going to get to those.
Absolutely.
But first off, I'd love to know a little bit about your background and your story of how you got into finance.
Well, you know, I came from the Fortune 500 previously, and when I really got engaged into finance was really when it happened that my husband had passed away unexpectedly, leaving me with 3 children, 1-year-old and a 15 and 16. And you know, sometimes when you go through life, Dawn, you can expect, you know, when your man said, I got under control, well, they don't always have under control. So in this case, it became a very hardship case, and I didn't want that to happen to other women. So I got into the finance because I wanted to educate, inform, and empower women out there so they could better understand what's going on, and also have, you know, partners have that communication with each other. And so from that on, it has blossomed into so much more than what I had anticipated.
So what's the timeline on that? How long have you been involved with this finance?
Well, I've been involved with this particular company, First Financial Security, for a little bit over 11 years, you know. And so from that time on, you know, we have grown ourselves into one of the biggest FMO organization right now. We represent hundreds of insurance companies, and at the same time represent on our clients' behalf. So kind of nice being a non-captive kind of deal where you can bring the best of the best to the clients.
Right, and obviously your motivation came from that time in your life, but I'm assuming you help men and women, or do you have a particular focus on helping and passion for helping women?
Well, I have a passion for helping women, but I do help men. I help with churches organization. Believe it or not, even right now, I've got a big 187,000 employee bid for a state and local government.
Wow.
So I'm playing in that space as well. Just doing this, it just brought me a whole new world of everything else. So just kind of uniqueness in it, yeah.
Fantastic. And I think a lot of what you do is unique, or you bring a lot of uniqueness to the finance world.
Yes.
And also you seem to enable people to understand it and understand the different things they can do. I understand you were featured in Forbes in 2016. So how did that happen come about?
Well, you know, it's funny. I was sitting at a place, and then suddenly I get this call. It says, you know, is this Shirley Luu? And I go, yes. They said, this is such and such, you know, Forbes. And I'm like, Forbes who? And, you know, it was one of those things. They said, you know, the magazine with a lot of subscribers, 45, 50,000 subscribers, hundreds of readers. And I said, why are you calling me? You know. But it was interesting that they say, well, we're having a special feature in the Capital Region on Forbes 2016, and we want to feature 400 billionaires. And I was like, wow, that's cool. Well, I'm not quite a billionaire yet, right? But what they said was really unique. They said, no, we're also looking at a couple financial firms, but first we have to interview you. You know, the article has to be written and all that. And if everything goes well, then you have an opportunity, could be selected for one of the ones to be featured. And luckily, you know, it was pretty cool. First time, I'm kind of in between Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley on the page in the October issue. And my title that were on there was Championing Guaranteed Lifetime Income, Financial Literacy, and Smart Retirement.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So maybe talk to some of that. Tell us a little bit about what you wrote about in that article that could help people.
Well, one of the biggest things that the article has was I talked about the biggest crisis that's going to hit America and around the globe. I believe it's going to be bigger than the Industrial Revolution, the bigger than the .com, the bigger than any of those things is longevity. I am concerned right now for everyone out there because when you're looking at growth for the next 15 years, I'm talking about 15 years, and that's right around the corner.
Yes.
The growth, more than 70% growth will be the age 65 or older.
Wow.
while you've still got the birth rate drops. So the question is that, okay, now you've got more people retiring. And if you can retire, the problem you can have is, a lot of folks are going to dip into their 401k, the IRA and all that. And eventually it could run out. And that's even an assumption that the market's not going to take a dive in somewhere in between. People, yes, we had a great couple of past year, but what if a 2008 comes back?
Yes.
And then you're looking at a situation where now you can lose your money, and that stream of income that you become dependent upon, it may not be. Because, think about 10% payroll tax coming in, the birth rate has dropped, and you've got, all these retirees. So I'm really concerned on that. So I want to protect my clients. I want to make sure that they've got a safety net.
So what are some of the ways you are protecting your clients, and what do people need to be thinking about, maybe before they come and talk to you, or to lead up to plan for their own future?
Well, I believe, Dawn, honestly, when it comes to anyone's retirement, there's three pillars. Absolutely three pillars you need to cover. The very first thing is that, okay, if for some reason the market takes a dive, could I lose my money? Well, you better have an investment vehicle out there today that protect from that losses. I get it. You need diversification, play with the stock market, for those money you can afford to lose. However, you need to put a safety net, some of those where you know that, okay, down the road, I will have a guaranteed stream of income. And to me, being proactive about that is very, very important. But the second thing is I also believe in the fact is that even my investment, I want to make sure it grows as well. I don't want to put it somewhere dormant, earning 1% to 2% return, right? But I still want to have to play that game where, okay, if the market does perform, I could still make what the market makes.
Yes.
I know folks say, how can you have all the upside with none of the downside risk? Well, darn, it exists. The third piece of it is that what I want to count on is that the fact that in your retirement plan, what if, worst case scenario, being the devil's advocate, the market never makes a dime for the next 5, 10, 15 years. How do I have an account that has a guaranteed lifetime stream of income? Again, those are some of the product features, and a lot of companies out there are now offering it, and I want to bring that to the marketplace. But to me, the most last, two other important pieces when it comes to financial planning is that talking about that, what, if I do, if something would happen to me tomorrow, can I leave a legacy? Can I leave a tax-free legacy for my family? And more importantly, before I kick the bucket, Dawn, what if I get hurt, get sick? What if I have a chronic illness, critical illness? Or what if I have critical injury? I'm not dead. I may have a heart attack or stroke. I may not be able to work. Well, if that's the case, I'm not going to work. How am I going to get income coming in? So I want my financial vehicle to have an ability to allow for me to tap into that money while I'm alive and not just dead.
Yeah.
So again, those are all very important critical components. If your financial planning are not covering those three aspects of it, you better relook at it.
So what is the best thing somebody can do? Because that's a lot for somebody to think about.
Yes.
And depending on where they are now in their life, in their business, and planning for their future, what are some of the things they can do? Call a financial planner?
Well, I think, they could call financial planner, or they could call me.
Exactly.
or my team of associates, and I do have a team of associates that operate across 50 states, and that's what makes it so wonderful. And I think the best thing to do is do a comparison plan. Don't make any switches until you take a look at it and say, okay, here's what I have. Show me a comparison. And that's what I do with all the clients. And tell me what your objective is. Because when it comes to financial planning, it can be pretty complicated because it depends on the ages. One client may say, what, I'm 60 years old, Shirley. I'm retiring around the corner. How do I make my money last? Another younger person may say, hey, look, I got time to ride it out. You know what I mean? And so therefore, I'm a little bit more aggressive. So tell me what I need to do in that sense, Again, so it's all different individual needs. And when it comes to business owner, even that is a different need on that aspect of it.
Yes,
as well.
And I want to get to that in a moment because I know there's something very exciting we can talk to that.
Yes.
But going back to the financial advisors, planners, there are a lot out there, a lot of brokers out there. Tell us more what makes you different and unique. How do you stand apart from the others?
Okay. Well, it's funny because when I looked at the clients, a lot of time these are for example, question I would ask you as a client, right? I said, I know, you're familiar with retirement plan, right? And 401k, IRA, and all that stuff. And I said, well, the question I have for you is that if for some reason, if the market has a downfall, where the market lost, 100 points, 1,000 points, something like that, could your retirement plan loses that money? And the answer is, most people tell me, of course, absolutely. And I said, okay. I said, well, there are plans out there today that doesn't have to happen. and still participate in the market gain. And that's when they can ask me, the eyes are going up, twitching and everything else. Sounds too good to be true.
Right.
And I say, but more importantly, that particular retirement plan, does it have in writing? I'm talking about in writing here, okay? And not just talk about, oh, maybe if and all that.
Yes.
No, in writing a guaranteed stream of income. When my clients sit across from me today, Dawn, I feel really good that I said, here's in writing, and you can take it to an attorney for review. You can take it to a CPA. You can take it to anyone that you kind of trust in the realm of your financial planning, and have them have that dialogue with me. Have them come to me for the question, what, in writing guarantee? Are you kidding me? Again, people said, how can you put a word guarantee? Well, first of all, I'm on the radios, I'm on TV, I'm on many places. You think I dare to get on live national television and local radio and all that stuff, and national radio, to talk something about not guarantee and
Yes.
it's too good to be true? Because it's really important. My associates and I, we hold on licenses, and stuff like that, and we have to be approved in 50 states. And so what we say is it must be valid. We
Right.
can't.
Because that is a strong word, guarantee. I mean, you can't
Absolutely.
use that lightly,
Absolutely.
especially in your field. I mean, all the legal ramifications, you've got to be careful on the words you use.
Exactly.
So that's pretty amazing. And on that, something else that I know is amazing, and we touched on it the other day, tell me what you're currently offering for business owners, because I'm still in awe about that, and I'd love to learn more about it myself.
Yeah. So as a typical business owner, you go day to day running an operation, and typical business owner, what they have is a lot of a traditional retirement plan. The 401k, the TRIPS, the IRA, the SEP, the defined benefit plan. You can go on and on.
Right.
Okay. So one of the business owner, I would ask them the other day. I said, hey, let me ask you something. When it comes to your retirement, have you ever considered using the bank's money to front load into your retirement account?
I bet people think, yeah, of course, but it's never going to happen. So I know now it is.
Right, and so even I asked many financial advisors. Just recently, I was at the Gaylord Hotel, where the financial advisor had been doing it for 25 years. I came up to him and I goes, "Hey, are you offering this plan that using the bank's money to front load into clients' retirement?" He looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "No, really." And so he asked me, well, "How does the plan work, Dawn?" So here's several components of it, okay? One component is that I'm going to fund 50%, okay? So for example, let's say you're 30 years young, right? And you said, you know what, I'm a business owner. I just want a very simple plan. Okay, Dawn, for the next 5 years. So let's say you put in $50,000. It could be 20, 30, it depends on the ages, okay? The minute you put in that $50,000, my bank matches 50. You put in 50, my bank match 50. 50,
And
50.
I was going to say, you might
For
have to just
5
say that again, because people might think, no, I heard that wrong. But they heard it right.
They heard it
didn't
right. You put in 50,000 first year, my bank matches 50,000 first year. Second year, 50,000, same matching for 5 consecutive years. You're done. You no longer have to fund this. You're okay with that. And how many people out there audience, how many of you guys would love to know the idea there's a financial planning you do for 5 years and you're done, okay? Now, here's the cool part, right? So after 5 years, on the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, the next 5 years after that, the bank goes, let me do this. 50 and 50 is 100. Let me fund $100,000 for the next 5 years after that.
So how can they do that? Because I'm sure people's jaws are dropping right now, and they can't wait to get on the phone and call you, because it does seem too good to be true. How can they do that?
Because the bank said, look, Dawn, if I'm going to lend you this money, so they do it as a lending. Okay, so they're going to charge you by what's called Libor rates. Libor rate can be run at 3%, 4%, 5%. Now, it's at a low interest, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you got to put it in a vehicle where it has potential growth. And in this particular case, the minute my clients fund that 50,000, or you fund it, it becomes a product on a very unique product indexed, okay? Product where it's got a $1.5 million life insurance become active. So the minute you get hurt, get sick, and any of those kind of things, or death, your family gets a 1.5, your business get a 1.5.
Right.
How cool is that, right?
Yeah.
So here's the catch. The bank said, look, I'm loaning you at this interest rate. I'm hoping that over the years, 15 years, that your cash value accounts begin to build up. So let's say at that time it built up to be, I don't know, maybe $1 million, okay? The bank said, you know what, you owe me $700,000. So they're going to go inside the account and take the money out. and still leave you to 300K. And with that, continue to grow on index.
Right.
The way the index performs is that whenever the market makes, you can go with the market. And if the market goes down, it's locked down, no losses. So you got a staircase only going up. And if people, audience understand Rule 72, if I believe in the market in the future only make about 6%, 7% return, I'm talking about long term.
Right.
That means our money doubles every 7 years. At a 7, right? Or 9 years. 7% growth. 72 divided to 7% is, that means money doubles every 9 years. So every 9 years, our money doubles. Bank knows that. They know that formula. So they know they can feel good about, well, no matter what, I know in 9 years, I could get that return. Right? So people say, well, how do you know that's guaranteed? No, that's not guaranteed. But the rest of the world, if you guys are all putting in a 401k mutual fund because you believe that the market in the long term will make 7%. Well, I'm basing on the same indice you're basing on.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So what they do, so after 15 years, bank goes and gets their portion, and the rest of it is distributed to you every year as an income stream.
Wow.
But because we built it inside of life insurance, everything becomes 100% tax-free if you do a saloon feature.
That's incredible. Wow, people are going to be knocking your door down.
Well, you know, it's funny. I'm taking it one step further. I'm taking it to corporation now.
Ah.
The reason is that, think about it, as a corporation, they have key executive, right? So you are the key executive. They love you. They want you to stay. And every year they have what is called bonus. They give it to you. So instead of giving you $50,000 bonuses that you're going to get hit with taxes on it, what if we put into this plan? Pre-tax, right? And they're giving you 50,000 bonuses. The bank comes in and match 50. So now you truly create a unique plan, compensation for the executive or even all the employees.
That's incredible.
I know.
That is incredible.
I'm excited because there's a lot of companies looking at this.
Right, yeah, very, very exciting. Great thing to get the message out about. Yeah. Now, I have two questions, and I think I might be typical of a lot of people out there. So my two questions are this. There's a lot of people who are numbed by numbers. So they go see a financial advisor or wealth strategist, and you throw a lot of numbers at them, and they just, like a deer in the headlights.
Right.
How do you help those people to understand what you're offering them and what is best for them?
Believe it or not, when I sit with my clients, I try to dumb it down as much as I can. You're putting in $100. Here's what you get. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Explain it to them. And then when I'm done with you on that, I say, Mr. Clients, do me a favor. Please repeat back to me, what did I just told you?
Great.
And of course, they're like, well, I think you said this. I think you said that. I want to make sure they understand it very, very clearly by the time they walk out of my office. So now, if someone else, other person, oh, this thing's no good, and I say, well, what did I told you? Okay, here are the good and the bad and the ugly about the plan. Here's a surrender charge. Here's what the fees are, if there are any fees. And some of them, my clients getting bonuses on the money, literally on a rollover, let's say $200,000 from a 401k IRA. My clients getting 10% bonus from the insurance company, so they're getting $20,000 just to talk to me. Most financial advisors, it's just that you have to pay, but my client's getting money,
Right.
And it's just so funny, in that sense. But you can tell I'm passionate because I love to help clients, and that's where my heart is, in teaching them. And there's a lot of middle-income America that's untouched, unreachable. They don't have a financial advisor.
Yes.
They can't afford it. But I want to reach out that middle-income America. Yeah, I mean, I've got a very, very wealthy client as well. But to me, my heart's in the middle.
And that's what always has struck me about you. Your heart, as you say, your heart is right in it. Your passion exudes from you. Yeah. And I love that. And that's why I love hearing the story of how you got into it and why. Yeah. And I think that carries through everything that you exude about your business. So my other question that I had was, I'm always intrigued when I speak to anybody in finance, well, what are they doing for their own personal finances? So are you implementing all of these in your own world?
Absolutely. And it's funny because one of the things is some clients, you sit across from them. Like one of them, I was trying to do a $300,000 thrift savings plan, moving it for, now keep in mind, they work at the government and it's secure. Right. I know it's there, and you want to do what with my money, and I'm moving it out, So to them, I could understand the grave concern that they have. So what I did, the next best thing was I said, I tell you what, how about this? I'm going to show you my account, my Shirley Luu account. every product services that I offer to my clients, I have. The reason is that you can't put your money where your mouth is. My family, my money is very important, and my family's money is very important. So, you know, a good example, when a client asked me the other day, she calls me on a Saturday and she said, Mrs. Lou, she goes, okay, here's the thing. I researched on the stuff you told me about, the product, and believe me, I searched on the internet, and half of it trash it, and the other half, and I said to her, and I said, you know what, you're going to find that. You're going to find a lot of financial advisor likes what I do, and a lot hates of what I do, okay? And I'm guessing you're calling me, and she said, well, you know, my other friends send me stuff, and I goes, good, at least you're doing your homework,
right?
Okay? But at the same time, doing your homework, there are some people that say good about it. I can only tell you from my standpoint, if you were to ask me, what is it that I recommend and what do I have? I tend to recommend and give my clients what I have for Shirley Luu, because it's important for my money, and you can go judgment from that, and that's what I have for my friends and family and business people.
Right,
you know?
yes.
And so, okay, is that good or bad? I have put my money where my mouth is. So.
Yes, absolutely. So what are some of the sort of top tips you would give to people to do with looking after their wealth for now and for the future?
Well, first of all, I think they need to seriously look at if they have kids, don't have kids, do they want to leave a legacy? Do they want to have a guaranteed stream of income where they can set it aside? Do they want to have tax-free retirement? And I think a lot of folks could do tax-free. You know, speaking of tax-free, you know, there are ways to get tax-free. You know, what if you had a 401k, right? And I could convert that into a tax-free retirement. Now, how many financial advisors are telling clients that?
Right, yes.
And it goes, there's a way of doing it legally, the right way, you know what I mean, of being able to get a stream of income down the road. And I can show you on the sheet of paper, if you take that 401k and start distributing income on that, here's your taxable amount, right? Your CPA can tell you what your tax bracket is. But if I can tell you is take the same amount of things, bite the bullet now in some cases, and you can get a tax-free income, here's how much you'd save. I mean, some of my clients have converted into some of those tax-advantaged, tax-free retirement. It could be done, but it's just, every client is so different, unique. I bring to a totally different level. And by the way, there are no charge or services for my clients. There are no charge. And people say, well, how did you get paid? That's always comes next.
Yes, I was coming to that. Because I just want to ask the questions people want to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when it comes to a lot of retirement stuff like that, you know, where in some cases my client getting bonuses from the insurance company, and I get paid directly by the insurance company, you know. And again, I looked at my clients, how soon do you need the money? If you need that money next year or immediately, then we put you in different products. But if you don't need to touch it to another 4 or 5 years, then it's a different game, you know. So everyone's uniquely different, and you have to find the right product solution. And last but not least, you know, being a non-captive agency allows me to find the best of the best. I mean, I love my, the owner of our company said, you know, Shirley, you go out there, you find the best company out there that has better product services, you bring them in. And to me, that's looking out for my clients.
Okay, so I want to ask, perhaps, I don't know if it's an awkward question, I don't think any question to you is awkward because I love how just open and honest you are. But if I was a client, potential client coming to you and on that thing of how you get paid, then I'm thinking, oh, well, she's going to push up the product that she gets the most bonus on. And I think a lot of people do think about that, and do they ever ask you? So what would be the answer to that?
Well, here's interesting. Somebody, one of the clients, one of my clients, his daughter came and said, oh, you know what? She's going to make money on this thing, right? And so the client goes, this is the mom and dad. Okay, she's going to make money. I'm getting bonuses from the insurance company. So on a $200,000 deal, in this particular case, they're getting $20,000. So if the insurance company paid me $20,000, do I really care what she gets paid by the insurance company?
Right.
You know, because as a client, and my client says, I get income, lifetime stream of income coming from this thing, right? Starting immediately and next year as well, forever. And by the way, if I ever get, you know, into a situation where I cannot perform 2 of the 6 activity daily living, you know, my $30,000 every year that she's giving me, I'm going to get that to $60,000. So do I really care what she gets paid? As a client standpoint, I want to be able to look at myself, you know. So in that case, you know, the client wasn't too concerned about what I was getting paid by the insurance.
Right, it's more what she's getting.
It's more what she's getting on that, a lifetime stream of income. It doubles if they cannot perform 2 of the 6. And by the way, if they don't use all the money, it goes to their family. So that's what my clients are looking at, you know. It's just like today, I'll give you an example. Health insurance. Aetna, Kaiser, Blue Cross Blue Shield, right? You know you need that, correct? Do you care how much that agent's doing that?
I don't, as long as I know I'm getting the best product that's out
That
there
is
for
correct.
what I need.
Right. Say that your car insurance, you drive a car. When was the last time you called that agent that did your car, whether State Farm, Allstate, and all those
And
guys
that's what
out
they're
there?
getting paid. Yeah, never.
Exactly.
I know. It's funny, isn't it? Yeah, it's amazing how we just do it and we don't question it. So
Right.
that's why I thought I would like to do that now.
Yeah, because it wraps up inside, all that stuff as well, But it's about the clients. What is it doing for me as a client? And of course, they have to disclose all the fees when you do the product.
Right.
If you're buying life insurance, they can disclose, hey, here's the cost of insurance, and by the way, here's what your product does.
Because it's very heavily regulated, isn't it?
Absolutely, and then the annuity, here's what the cost is, and here's what, and guys out there, some of the annuity are for 0 fees. There are no fees, no admin charge, no sales charge, there's no money management fee, there are no fees. And the people are like, how in the heck are you able to do that? Well, that's the magic.
They need to come talk to you and then they can find out.
And and by the way, some of the stuff I'm doing, hitting Barron's #1, my carriers, hitting Barron's #1, 3 consecutive years. So people say, is it any good? Say, well, I don't know. Barron's recognize, some of my insurance carrier. And to me, partnering with that, bringing the best of the best to the industry is what makes us different.
Yes, absolutely. So I know we could sit here and talk all day. What are maybe some of the leaving thoughts you want to pass on to those listening and watching?
You know what? My biggest thought is that if you haven't planned for retirement or thinking about any of that stuff, you really need to do it now. The reason is that time's passing by quick. And for those of you who do have it, it's time to do a checkup. I mean, you really need to do a checkup. Do I have the right plan? Do I have the old plan or the new plan? Do I have the right kind of retirement, structuring what I needs to do, and do a comparison. You owe it to yourself, and then find a company that is a brokerage where they offer many companies, not just one. When you go to one company and they're only offering one product of that company only, you're at a disadvantage. And to me, I don't want to get into that. I want to be able to, look at all the different companies and bring the best of the best.
Yes. Oh, it's such a pleasure, Shirley. Maybe you can tell everybody how they can get in touch with you directly so they can find out more and come and have a consultation with you.
Well, one of the great things is, you can always Google me. I'm easy to find. Just Shirley Luu, it's Luu. And if you want it, you can also Google ShirleyLouFinance.com. In the very near future, I'm going to be touring in probably a lot of different cities. So my website sometimes have those different cities that I'm touring. But even if not, contact me and I can tell you where the next city that I have. Because some of them are private meeting, that where they have exclusive 100 clients or 200 clients. But again, starting very, very soon, it's going to be a pretty aggressive plan across the country. I know that I'm speaking at the Government Center, on July the 29th,
right.
Coming up. But again, there's so many events everywhere. And I was just at the Gaylord this past week. So look out for it. Again, my direct line is, again, under Shirley Luu Finance.com, or you can email me at Shirley@ShirleyLouFinance. And my direct contact is easy enough to find as well, 703-608-1203. And if for those of you guys who's, maybe getting this recording from somebody that call them. Whoever's gave it to you, get in touch with them to also get in touch with me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, Shirley, thank you so much. You're always such a wealth of knowledge on wealth strategy. So thank you so much for being here today, and I hope a lot of people do benefit and do reach out to you. I have no doubt they will.
Well, thank you so much, Dawn. I appreciate that. Okay.
So thank you for joining us here on Connect Live. I'm Dawn Peters. If you want to be a guest on the show, go to connectionhub.biz. Thank you.